we don't lose sight of local issues that are of importance to all of you. And with that in mind, we have welcomed two guests. It's an odd occurrence that I'm not in studio and our guests are in studio, but I appreciate Kimberly Calcote and Robin Baldree for stopping by to talk to us a little bit about Williamson County politics. Ladies, thank you for being in studio with us. I'm sorry that I'm not there in person, but I appreciate you being there.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you,
Robin, am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
You are. It's perfect. Thank you.
Okay, great. Well, Robin, you and Kimberly, and I'll let you guys speak a little more to this. Y'all have been involved with Williamson County politics far longer than I've been a proud Tennessean. I came in 2021, but Kimberly, I know that you've been a member of the Republican Women of Williamson County for a long, long time. Robin, I know that you've been involved in Williamson County politics specifically, Tennessee politics more broadly for a long time. And so I appreciate you being able to shed a little light on the subject of where you guys are in Williamson County. And I don't know who wants to take it first, Kimberly or Robin. You guys can pick, but kind of catch us up to Williamson County, and because we've heard a lot about what's been going on there regarding the county party. And, you know, where they're trying to go, what the party's trying to do. There was a lot of rumors about the party wanting to go to a caucus, which I think is an antiquated way of doing business. Just give us a recap of what all's been going on in Williamson County.
So in Williamson County, we've had, unfortunately, a big fracture in the Republican Party due to people coming in from outside of Williamson County telling us that we don't really know how to do things as conservatives. They've truly fractured the party to the point where it's almost two sects of the party. And we have plenty of people who have worked diligently for decades to help turn the state and the county red. And we are wanting to, the Williamson County conservatives and both Robin and myself, we're working hard to make sure that we keep Williamson County red. We continue to support our Republican elected officials, and we make sure that we grow the party, which is what we should be doing.
And to piggyback off what Kimberly said, I moved here in 2001, and we had a Democratic governor. So we've come a long ways in almost 24 years since I've been here, and it is off the backs of the hardworking people of the state of Tennessee and Williamson County specifically.
You know, it occurs to me, ladies, that I've never gotten into the fight involving the word rhino. But I don't define myself as a conservative because I think it would be dishonest to do so. I am more of a libertarian, but I lean on a lot of my conservative friends to pass legislation that all of us agree on, and I've watched that happen in the state of Tennessee. And I look at Williamson County and I see one of the, I understand that there's a lot of influx of new thoughts and new ideas coming into the county, but I see a county that has remained red since I've been here, and I don't see any danger of that being shaken up. Am I wrong in my assessment of what I see in Williamson County?
I don't think you're wrong at all. So we've worked really, really hard to keep it red. And like I said before, on the backs of a lot of people for decades, and I'm very proud to be a part of that group as well. So that's what's so surprising about the new people at the Williamson County Republican Party trying to change things up. I'm all about new ideas. I'm all about new things coming in. Absolutely, you know, I really am. But I don't understand how now everything is wrong. They all moved here for all the reasons why we love this county. And now all of a sudden it seems like it's just wrong. So I'm very perplexed in that.
And to expand on that, I think what we have to remember is that unfortunately our current party continues to throw around the word rhino, which you mentioned, and it's for things that are it's publicly shaming true conservatives that have worked really hard to push this county towards a solid red majority and even the state to a solid red majority. And I think it's important that we continue to work towards that. And unfortunately, with the fracture in the party, we're focusing more on infighting and fighting each other instead of fighting we should be unified against the enemy, which is the Democratic Party and their ideals.
Well, there's this belief, and for those who don't know, when the Williamson County Republican Party came together to elect a new leadership, there were some that were suggesting that there needed to be a move to a caucus system, although the same people that were behind the scenes really pushing for that seemed to not want to say the word publicly. And I heard a lot of that going on, and I'm sure, Robert and Kimberly, you did as well. But they were actively pushing for that, and it felt like they were doing so for their own reasons, that they wanted to somehow circumvent the primary process. Well, and I know there were a lot of concerns about the way that the Williamson County Republican Party voted for its executive leadership. That said, the leadership was voted on, and things have kind of settled down. But now it's odd that the same people that were pointing fingers and accusing others of not being Republican enough are inviting Democrats to party events. Is that, and that's kind of the reason that I wanted to talk to you guys, because it's my understanding that just happened, right?
Right. It happened last night. I too was very, very surprised about that. Absolutely surprised about that. I'm a lifelong Republican. My parents were Republicans. My grandparents were Republicans, and so on. And I myself have been accused of not being Republican enough, and I have no idea why they say that, or what their definition of how much is, or if you're not too Republican. But I was very surprised last night that they had a Democrat speaking at their mix and mingle. Absolutely.
I had somebody call me today, and several people actually. I was fielding multiple phone calls regarding the people that were appalled that they had a Democrat speaker, because they almost felt like the party was lying to their membership about what the message is. They also worried, one of the platforms of the party is to grow the party. Like Trump, we want to have a big tent. And by having Democrats come and be your primary speaker, they're worried about minimizing the party or losing membership because of that. Here the truth is that we do believe in a big tent for the Republican Party. We believe, in a Republican Party platform. We believe in low taxes. We believe in school choice. We believe in pro-life, and we want to make sure that those are the fundamental aspects of what is a Republican. But all of that to say, we're not the person who gets to decide with a litmus test on if you're Republican enough. Mm-hmm. That's not our job. Our job is to have a big tent and to fight in the arena of ideas to win these people over, not decide with some litmus test if they're conservative enough, Republican enough, or even Christian enough, which unfortunately we've been called that we're not even that.
I refer to these folks, and not just in Williamson County, but around the state, when they decide that they get to decide what a conservative is, that they get to decide what is Republican enough and what is not. And these are the ones that throw around the word rhino. And frankly, I've met Steve Hickey, who is the chairman of the Williamson County Republican Party. He seems nice enough. This is not personal, but based on what he does outwardly, as the chair of the Williamson County Republican Party, I would put him in this category, that he is regularly judging people based on what he considers to be not conservative enough or rhino in nature. Well, he's the chair of the Williamson County Republican Party, and they just invited a woman by the name of Grace Stranch. This was last night. This is the person that you speak of. Tell me a little bit about Grace Stranch and why you think she does not necessarily represent the values of Williamson County.
Well, of course, what we researched and found out about this speaker is that she is very much a pro-abortion activist. She also used to be in field operations for the Tennessee Democratic Party. She's been on panels for the Tennessee Young Democrats. She's also on the diversity committee for the Nashville Bar Association and the Tennessee Bar Association. We know President Trump and even Senator Jack Johnson in our state has worked vigorously to eliminate DEI and hiring and promotion practices. We believe in meritocracy, not diversity as a practice. And simply put, they promoted and hosted a speaker that goes against the Republican Party platform.
Yeah, and to be clear, Matt, this isn't a personal attack on their speaker, in my opinion. And this actually isn't a hit on Democrats. It's about the choice made by the Republican Party that claims to be conservative, then turns around and gives the microphone to someone who is clearly not.
Well, right. I mean, and to make clear, for those outside of the county and you don't understand the inner workings, and maybe this isn't happening in your neck of the woods, we see it happening statewide because I see the same people that are wagging their finger at some of you in Williamson County wag their finger at Governor Lee. They are not in elected positions, but they say, oh, Governor Lee's not conservative enough on this or that issue, or any number of other Republican lawmakers or leaders. I understand disagreeing on issues. I understand having disagreements within the party on particular matters, but to create these inter-party fights is non-productive, and the same people that are creating the fights within the Republican Party in Williamson County are inviting lifelong Democrats to speak at their party functions. So it seems to me that you want to look at them, at least I do, and say, "Doctor, heal thyself." Before you complain about the biblical passage about before you complain about the splinter in my eye, take the piece of wood out of yours.
Correct.
Absolutely. I mean, at this point, they have screamed for months about crossover voting and wanting to ban that. Even that was what instigated the passing of Senate Bill 799 and giving us primaries so that we can make sure that all voices are heard. But they said that it was so important to have caucuses because we were supposed to eliminate crossover voting. But here they're the ones crossing over with their platform and promoting a Democratic speaker. And, really, the job of the Republican Party is pretty simple. It's to promote the Republican Party platform. It's to grow the party, and it's to continue to support and elect our elected officials.
And just to be clear, I don't know this person, Kathleen Grace Stranch, but based on her record, based on what I could look up, she's a lifelong Democrat. She's a pro-choice Democrat. She is pro-union, pro-abortion, anti-gun, and anti-Trump, and has voted in or given to the Democrat Party, really, it seems, since 2004. So, I mean, this wasn't a hard lift for me to do background research, so I'm a little flummoxed. Do you guys, I know I'm probably asking the wrong people, Kimberly and Robin, but, I mean, do you guys have any idea why the Williamson County Republican Party would think that she would be a good fit to present herself before the Republicans in the county?
That's a great question, and I actually don't know. I was just as surprised as you seem to be. I think we're all very, very surprised that they had asked her to speak.
I mean, at our event last night, we had a great panel of Republican leaders in our community. And we really feel like that's the kind of demonstration of what Republican values and support of our elected officials should look like. We're kind of flummoxed ourselves on why they would, choose to pick a Democrat to present when we have wonderful Republicans in our community that could do a dynamite job.
Absolutely. At our event last night, we had 2 county commissioners, 2 school board members, 2 newly elected mayors in the municipalities in Williamson County. Although those are nonpartisan, they are bona fide Republicans. And we had a commissioner out of Fairview. And it was a great panel, great questions. It's all about talking about local government. And I think that's what the people of Williamson County want to know.
Well, I mean, you know what? My door is always open to Steve Hickey or anybody else as on the Williamson County Republican Party Executive Committee if they want to come on the show and explain the rationale behind inviting a lifelong Democrat to be a speaker in the Williamson County Republican Party, especially considering that they just finished wagging their fingers at all of us, telling us that there were Democrats trying to infiltrate the Republican Party in Williamson County. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make a lot of sense that on the heels of doing that, they would invite Democrats to infiltrate the Republican Party in Williamson County. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
We agree. I mean, we're really not sure why they would think that was a good idea. I mean, they do tend to take some progressive positions on things, so I guess we'll just have to see if they give you a response.
Well, let's hope that they do. I mean, it's an interesting breaking news story out of Williamson County, a little bit of a microcosm as to what goes on all across the state of Tennessee any given week, any given month regarding party politics. Kimberly, Robin, thank you guys so much for spending a little bit of your Friday with us. I appreciate the incredible conversation.
Thank you so much for having us, and we hope you enjoy the lake.